Hi guys, welcome back. It's Ted.
It's Grant.
Alright. Welcome back. Today we're talking about trans athletes. So,
It's Aussie.
it's a little complicated because we've had the Olympics recently, and the first female
The weightlifter.
trans athlete from New Zealand, weightlifting, a little mixed bag, didn't complete the sets, 3 fouls. I think it's interesting. I think there's a big uproar about it.
Yep.
I've watched a lot of debates and stuff, pro and cons.
Yep. This may offend some people too, to be honest.
That's alright.
I don't care. Like, people offend me all the time. We're going to offend people on this channel, but this is just something that we're doing.
Yeah, we're just giving out takes. If you do have your own opinions, leave
Please
them in the
share
comments.
it. Yeah, for sure.
We'll
We are literally open to anything. It's not just like transgender's wrong or transgender's right. And that's it. Like, we're honestly open. I'm just saying, when it comes to offence, everyone's offended about something every day. So it's treading on eggshells. It's just not a way to live life.
You're offending me right now.
See? Done. Wow. Need a little cry emote on there when you say stuff like that.
You are the crying mode. I think one of the hardest part is trying to figure out what the debate is, because I've watched people debate and it's never consistent. Now, are we talking about people have the right to be a female if you were born a male? Are we talking about the right of a female to versus a male, or a male to versus a female? Are we talking about, is there differences? Are we, whether or not we're acknowledging there's differences, or are we saying it's the same thing? Are we talking about the social implications or the backlash that someone that is trans might receive just by being trans?
Transgender.
I feel like there's a lot of different topics that all kind of get mixed in. It's a little hard, and it's difficult because I am in the side of pro-trans, just because I can see the discrimination that they would receive just by living.
Yeah.
Like, obviously there are some grey areas where, like, bathrooms and people's rights to feel safe, and people's rights to be able to go where they want to go. It's complicated, but then you've also got to see what the actual discussion is. And then when you're talking about sports, any kind of sports.
Yeah, well, there was that
Fallon Fox.
that man
Yeah.
that transgender to a woman in MMA and just put a mad beating on that other chick that she fought, and it looked like she was hit by a truck, and there was a massive debate about that because it was pretty much, they had the sex change and stuff, which is fine, but I don't
Does
think.
it? I can't remember.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they were transgender and
Post-op.
and they, had the fight in the cage and whatnot, and just put a beating on this other woman. And the big blow up, I think the big blow up is, they may have changed their gender, but they're not changing their body he's still, she or he, sorry if I'm offending anyone, still has a male physique, male muscles and whatnot, and then going into a ring against a female and putting a bloody schlacken on him.
Alright, let me play the devil's advocate here. So the devil's advocate, so the against.
Yeah, well, that's just what I've heard. I haven't actually
Yep.
looked into it too much myself. That's the side of things I've heard.
So a lot of people who argue that would say that for a lot of trans people to compete in any kind of sports, they do take a lot of hormones, they do take a lot of drugs that changes, that reduces their testosterone levels and whatnot.
Yeah, take estrogen
that makes
supplements
it
and stuff.
that makes it a lot more even playing field.
Yeah,
But then obviously
it's still not.
it's not even not.
It's not exact.
And
No, I get what you're saying. Like, you can make it as equal and whatnot as you can, but it's still not a woman fighting a woman, I suppose.
well, it is
or
a
vice
woman
versa.
fighting
Well,
a woman. I think
Alright, well, a natural born woman fighting a natural born woman.
I think the part that I get annoyed with is when they say that a trans person does take drugs and they've just changed over, now it's fair. But then you're not taking into account the years and years and years up to the point where you start taking drugs, that you've had the advantages that a naturally born male would have: increased level of testosterone, denser bone mass, just there's
men
a
are
lot-
built different to women.
generally speaking.
Yeah.
So on the scale, there's a scale. The higher performing males, lower performing males, and then if you have another scale of females, high performing females, and lower performing females. So there's always a certain percentage of females that outperform males. But if you're looking at like naturally born testosterone, increased muscle mass, dense everything, there's always an advantage to the male. I don't know how much you can change that by taking testosterone for a couple of years and then versing a female. But I think a big factor is that we're always discussing a naturally born male turning to a female versus females, but we don't really talk about naturally born female turning into a male versing males in high level competition. It's only ever one-sided.
Yeah.
I think that's a big indicator of the main issue that we have. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying there's differences between people, whether it's a male and female, two males, two females, whatever it is. I think there's a natural stigma if you say there's a difference between two things, that you're implying that one is worse than the another.
Yeah.
You don't naturally need to be worse. You can just acknowledge differences in two things and leave it at that. I feel
like us.
Yep.
There's a clear difference
Clear
in us
difference.
right now.
But that one's worse.
Yeah, exactly what he just said. One's worse than the other. But no, it's true. What you said is good. Like people, automatically go for what's wrong, what's right, what's good, what's not.
But I think part of it is a little bit of a trigger. You know, I can see if you're a trans person, if you've lived a big chunk of your life thinking that you're not who you're born as, and then you finally transition, and then you're still having issues to deal with that, and then you want to compete with other people that you believe are the same as you, and then you got pretty much majority of the world saying no, don't do that. I feel like that's a massive burden for anyone to deal with.
Yeah, that's a
So
heavy weight.
in that regards, like you got to feel a lot of empathy and sympathy for that.
Yeah.
Like I get that, and that's why I think it's got to be we need to be very clear about what the discussion is.
Especially if they're trying to do something they're super passionate about too,
Yeah.
and then getting shafted about it. So I understand that. Then there's the whole debate on should they have a male, female, transgender category, you know, which I can see both sides to that. I can see why people would be for it, because there's that aspect of, you know, are they actually competing on the same level, you know, if they're a transgender woman as to a natural born woman.
Yeah.
But then I can also see the other side where they want to be seen as equals and they're still getting put in a subcategory. So I understand both sides.
And I think we use the word fair a lot. Like, what would be the fair scenario here? Would it be fair to give the trans person who has more than likely received a lot of discrimination, still feeling discriminated against, and not being able to compete in the division they want to? Would it be more fair towards the female if they do not wish to compete against a trans athlete? Who would it be more fair for? And I feel like it's not wrong to have an opinion on either side.
No.
Because I feel like
the thing with opinions is everyone's entitled to one, and if you really dug into it, is there a right or wrong opinion? Because my opinion might be wrong to some people and it might be right to some people, and vice versa. You know, everyone's entitled to one. And I think it comes down to the whole, like, it's easy to say respect other people's opinions, but do you actually respect other people's opinions? So that's another big issue with the thing.
I'd say most people.
No,
most
they
people
don't.
say they do,
Yeah,
but I think people just
they
like
100% don't. But that's half the problem. Like, if people were genuinely respecting and open to other people's opinions, there wouldn't be near half the dramas there is in all these touchy subjects.
You know what virtue signaling is?
You know what?
It's like when people kind of pretend to be like high and mighty and like real goody good, but really they don't really care.
No.
And I feel like a lot of these people that kick up a big storm and possibly even protest and stuff, because it's like, do you really care about trans person? Have you taken the time to talk to them, see what they go through,
Exactly.
the adversity that they need to overcome? I don't think most people that have an opinion, like a real loud voice in it, truly care one way or another. Unless they're in it, unless you are a trans person who is competing in athletics, or you are a woman competing in athletics and you've had a trans athlete
Compete against
you, I can imagine you having a strong feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a complicated issue.
It is. But like we said, we're open to hearing everyone's opinion. Like I 100% genuinely, hand on my heart, am open to listening to people's opinions, and I do respect them. Like, you know, I've got my beliefs and stuff like that, and I've got plenty of friends that don't particularly line up with my beliefs, but they're still my friends because they're my friends with who they are, not necessarily, you know, what they believe in and whatnot. So I myself am open to anything.
Yep. He's got a big heart because he's a big fella. Massive.
True that.
Yep. I personally on the side that I don't really care, and sense that it doesn't affect me, and if something doesn't affect me, I generally step back and try not to have a strong opinion one way or another, because I feel like there's people involved who it does affect, and it doesn't affect me at all in any way whatsoever. So if you have your opinion, if you are involved, I would love to hear your perspectives. If you are a female athlete, give us your take. If you are a trans person,
Or a male athlete.
Yeah, we'd love to know.
Or just
your
just in
experiences.
general, don't have to be an athlete. Just, you know, if you're male, female, or transgender, just we want to know about your life in general. About, you know,
Not everything, just the sports.
Not
too much. Don't be a creep.
No, I'm not being creepy, but even like just the adversity you have to face and stuff like that.
Yep.
I don't need all your details, but you know what I mean. You got that joke?
No jokes today. You got one?
Yeah, I got one.
Typical dad. All right, let's hear it.
How do cows do maths?
How?
With a calculator. Bye, guys.